Welcome. Thank you, Shelley, for joining me this morning. And welcome to everybody who is watching us. I am Corey Walmsley. I'm the CEO of Aurora Borealis Publishing. And this is my longtime friend, my colleague, Dr. Shelley Hipsky. She is also one of my clients. She has written somewhere around 13 million books, I think. So we will have a lot to talk about today. First, I want to say though, if you are watching us and you have questions or comments, please drop them in the comments. This is your opportunity to pick our brains, to get to talk to a real live author and find out more about the writing process, about the publishing process, about getting yourself out there. And if you do comment, everybody gets a prize. I'll be sending those out next week. And you get your name in the basket for, I'll throw it in a bucket or a hat or whatever, for a fabulous author prize. Only one person gets that, so make sure you comment. So I'm gonna let Shelley introduce herself and tell you a little bit about, let's say, some of the books. Because
hi, Corey. Thank you so much for having me on your show here. We've been longtime friends, colleagues, and I've loved working with you every step of the way. You also were the editor for Inspiring Lives magazine for years, and that was a huge help to me, and just the professionalism of the magazine as it went out. I always knew that I trusted you. So that's been a wonderful collaboration. But I started as a academic writer because I was a tenured professor at a private university. And then there was an interview that totally changed my life about halfway through the books. I switched gears on doing predominantly curriculum work and academic and research-based work to doing more of the interview-based books and the interviews. I mean, if you look at behind me on this wall, there's the 26 magazine covers that I've been featured in. And I have had the great honor of interviewing over 1,000 women around the world. So that has really been a huge turning point for me, because I've been able to work with so many incredible women leaders to make those come true and make them happen, and be able to spread my message of inspiration and empowerment around the world.
That's so awesome. What I love about what you do is you are inspiring people and empowering them and helping them grow together as a community, because it's really hard for someone to sit there and go, oh, I'd really love to do this, but I don't know anybody who does this, because it just makes it feel unattainable. And you find these amazing women all over the world and feature their stories in the magazine and in your books, and get those stories out there to let other people know, hey, it is doable. You can actually achieve it.
Absolutely. And there's been just so many beautiful, wonderful connections that have been made through the writing and through the media work that I've done with these women and their stories, because as you know, Corey, like our stories, that's our gold. Like that's where we can put the Midas touch on everything, is be able to, take our stories, take other stories, and just put them out there into the world. So it's an important part of my mission, and I know you do it so beautifully well with your mission, with your publishing company, and all the work that you've done. It's always impressed. You're welcome.
Yeah, making people relatable is huge. And one of the most interesting things I find is when you see somebody who's like a high-level CEO or somebody who's got this huge platform, and they step up and tell their stories of overcoming challenges. And I think that's so interesting. And that's something that you did. You talked about your challenges in ball gowns to yoga pants. So tell me a little bit about that book. That's her most recent book, number 13. Tell me a little bit about that book, about what inspired that, and just the writing process on it.
Absolutely. Well, so Corey, I was traveling around the world constantly, everywhere from the University of Oxford in England, I spoke to Passions to Profits in Hollywood, and always after I told my story and the stories of the other women, they told their stories from the stage. Women would come up to me with tears in their eyes and a story in their heart and a big hug for me. And they would hug me and they would say, "Oh my gosh, I have a story." And then they go, "And how the heck did you do all that?" Like, well, part of my journey was becoming a businesswoman in the middle of a divorce and a custody stuff, and just having a very shaken sort of mindset, and knowing that my destiny was what it was going to be, but not quite knowing how to get there, and then figuring it out. So the women always would come up and say, "How did you do that? I want to know, and I want to read that," because I kept putting out other women's stories, and I'd pepper it with my stories, but they kept saying, I need that. And then I know you remember when my daughter Alyssa came up sort of with the title Ball Gowns to Yoga Pants, because she saw me as a professor in the beginning of her being a kiddo, and she would see me in my red power suits and rocking that look, and she was like, "You don't wear suits anymore, Mom. You're either like in a full ball gown because you're going to a big charity event, or you're going to be on stage, or you're in yoga pants making deals on your cell phone, running around with us kids." And I was like, "Oh, that's it." So yes, that's really where that came from. And the process, I'm sure, was different, being that it was the 13th book than it was the first time I wrote a book. I mean, it was clearly different and a very different genre. But it was really it's always about getting into the flow of writing, I feel. I start with an outline, and that becomes my table of contents, and then I start filling in the chapters. But it's once you get that like big idea, it's finding that wow title and really just narrowing it down. But this one is really a joy to put out into the world, and I've been so delighted with how it's been accepted by particularly the women entrepreneurs of the world. We went #1 for a week of all the books in India, which was a little mind-blowing to me. And then we've got multiple awards for it, and it's been a real joy.
That's so awesome. And something that I always think about is, for that title, like ball gowns, like, yeah, that might be what you see is the ball gowns and all the fancy outfits and the sequins, but we are all back here, doing our thing in yoga pants. We are all
absolutely
at our desk early in the morning, messy hair, don't care, and doing our thing. And it's whatever works for you. It's whatever you need to be at that moment. So we don't have to feel like especially because we are at home right now, a lot of us,
right.
or a lot of people are working from home all the time because they do like having that flexible schedule. Like, you don't have to be in a power suit all the time to be doing your work. And I love
Absolutely.
that, like, public persona, private persona, mix it all together and do what works.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to talk too about the doors that your books have opened for you. I know you've been writing, I think, since we met, which was probably like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What has writing books done for you? What kind of doors does it open, opportunities, all that kind of stuff?
Oh my goodness. The books have been huge door openers. I just wrote my first solo article for Forbes, and the last line of it is something like, writing your book is the key to unlock doors that were previously unopenable. So I really believe that they have been able to be even more than a calling card for me. They've been just that way to sort of get my message out there in a unique way, and it's truly my message. And all the media that I've done. I mean, I had Inspiring Lives with Dr. Shelley, the television show, and Empowering Women Radio, podcasts, and all that good stuff. But but the books that's a personal journey. I really feel like it is. It's a walk that, while we walk it side by side with our editor, like, and our publisher and those people, that it's something that is really you, that you're putting out there into the world. And I know that can be a little daunting for some people at first, but what a beautiful thing to have a piece of yourself that you can pass on as your legacy to your children, to the people that you teach and lead. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing to be able to write a book. And I know that all the people that are watching this right now are either writing their books, or they have their books and they're getting out there and marketing them. And I just say, go for it. I mean, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain by putting yourself out there authentically in a book.
Absolutely. I did want to say, I'm struggling a little bit with my Facebook. Normally I have my phone with me and I'm trying to like keep checking for comments instead on my computer, because my daughter has my phone. So we're, text swapping. But if you do drop a comment and we don't get to it right away, just be patient. Yeah. Oh, and Annie Marie, thank you for sharing that article. This is the article that Dr. Shelley wrote for Forbes. So make sure you check that out, because it is really helpful to you if you're thinking about writing a book, some of the stuff that it can do for you and, how to get there. Yeah, so thank you for sharing all of that information. That was so wonderful. I did want to wrap up, since I know you're busy. We all have a lot of stuff going on. So if you wanted to share something, somebody's thinking about a book, aside from reading that article and getting that inspiration, what would you tell them about getting started on that journey?
I would say really tap into who you are, what your message is. Take some time with yourself. I mean, many of my books have been written in hotel rooms, but the Common Thread series was actually written. The end of that was written in Paris when I was on my writer's retreat. So really just go inward and decide what you are giving to your readers. I mean, that is the gift that you are giving them. So make sure you package it up with a nice little red bow and make it the way that you really want to deliver that present to the world.
Yeah, I love that. I think I've said I love that after everything you said. But it's that.
Well, I love that, Corey.
Thank you. Yeah, it's that heart connection. And if you're not, focusing on what you want to get out there and who you want to talk to and how you want to help them, it makes it really hard to get the words out. So I love that. And of course, if you want more inspiration from Dr. Shelley and all of the amazing people she interviews and her own story, you can check out her books. Do you want to tell us where we can find all your books?
Absolutely. They can find everything from my coaching to my magazine to Global Sisterhood, which is obviously near and dear to my heart as well, as we help women and children around the world. And that's all at ShelleyHipsky.com. And that's Shelley with an IE, and it's hip sky phonetically. So.
Yeah, we'll put that in the comments too. So
excellent.
Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody who's watching, if you do have comments or questions, put them in the comments. Oh, here we got one. Kelly says, hi ladies, great idea, Shelley. I'd love a writer's retreat and think we should plan one, Corey. We'll have to think about that.
There we go. We could definitely do that. Corey and I would make an amazing writer's retreat.
that would be a lot of fun. I would love doing a writer's retreat. It's a beautiful place, writing and enjoying amazing food. I think so too. Yes.
Absolutely. We would have a ball with that. Oh my gosh. We would be able to tap into so much greatness.
Yeah. Well, that stepping away, sometimes that's what it takes, because
it does. It really does.
Sometimes we're caught in that same environment and we just keep going, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And then you step away and you go, this is my time. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be so fun. The next chapter of Corey and Dr. Shelley.
Yeah, maybe we'll go to Paris and we'll do a writer's retreat there.
Fabulous.
All right, well, stay tuned for all the fabulousness. Thank you again for joining us. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll pop back in and answer them. And of course, you'll get in for the Fabulous Authors Prize. Thank you, Shelley, for giving us all your wisdom and popping in this morning. And everybody, thank you. Happy Earth Day and have a great day.
Yay, bye-bye.